There's one thing missing from the pristine front end of my vehicle, and that is convenience. To open the hood of my vehicle, I have to lift it and then use this disconnected bar that came with the vehicle to hold it up. Normally there's nothing wrong with prop rods, I just don't like them. And with this vehicle, some of the plastic inserts that hold this to the frame when it's not being used are missing. So it never stays where it needs to stay. It's hard to keep it in the right spot. And I have to take it out when I drive because it rattles. So today we're going to be installing hydraulics. We're going to put in some gas lifts that will prop the hood open for me so that I don't have to bother with this anymore. Now this is a pretty generic run-of-the-mill gas hood strut kit. You can find them for cheap all over the internet. And we're going to be installing this today. It's got the hardware and some very basic instructions included. So let's dive into the process on how to properly install these. To get this job done, all we're going to need is a small pair of pliers and a 10mm socket. The first thing I noticed about this kit is that it recommends installing on this bolt here, which goes through the fender and front frame member to the headlight. I'm not going to do that because, for one, my headlight bolts are missing, and for two, I'm the type of person that is going to be changing these out a few different times, and I'd rather not have to also remove these. So we're going to just go slightly up and use the bolt that just goes through the fender to the frame. So our kit includes 2 of these gas struts, 2 of these ball sockets that screw on the thinner end, and we've also got a couple brackets that are going to be used on the hood and the fender to mount. So from the instructions included in my kit, it looks like the smaller mount is going to go down here on the fender with the ball facing inside, and the larger, more adjustable mount is what's going to go up on the hood. First up, I need to screw one of these ball sockets on the end of each piston arm. Now all 4 of the ball joints in this kit have a small wire that wraps around and leads up inside here, and that helps hold the ball in when the socket's installed. But to install it, we're actually going to need to remove that wire. So we're going to use our pliers to take it off. With that wire removed, we just need to insert the ball socket here, and then reinstall our wire to keep it secure. We'll do the same thing on the other end. With our ball joints installed now, we can hold this up and just make sure it's kind of the right spot and length. You'll definitely want to double check that your brackets are facing the correct way on both mounts. Let's start installing. Make sure you only take off one hood bolt at a time so that it stays aligned correctly on the hinges. If you take off both, you'll have a tough time repositioning it so that all your body lines are the same. You may also find you need to lift the hood farther up to get the brackets to install it the first time. I'm not sure how much adjustability you really need out of this top hinge or where the best alignment is, so you're going to have to play with it on your own vehicle. Each fitment will be different, but right now we're going to start off with it lined up all the way over here. Having one strut installed is usually enough to hold the hood up, so this is a good time to close and open, test, make sure it's not hitting any bolts or brackets on the inside of the engine bay. Now it looks like when we go to close and latch the hood, our hood bolt is marking right here. It's just barely catching, so we'll have to play with the adjustment a bit and make sure this fits properly. After playing around with it a bit, we ended up flipping the mount the other way, so let's see if it closes correctly now. After a few test cycles, it looks like our fitment's a lot better, so let's do the other side. Now that we have both struts installed and we've double checked that every bolt is tightened back down correctly, let's verify our fitment one more time. Now that all the hardware is in, we've double checked it's all secure and triple checked that the fitment is good, it's not rubbing up against the frame, the hood, or any important members in the engine bay. We're all done. I love this upgrade on my vehicles. It's pretty simple, it's pretty cheap, but it's definitely helpful to have something lift the hood for you rather than trying to mess with the prop every time. It's just a great little convenience feature, so I recommend getting one of these for yourselves. If you do have installation instructions included with the kit you buy, do make sure to follow those. This is just a general guide on how the installation for these types of struts usually works. And that's all we've got for this video. Thanks for watching.